Good evening, everyone. This is Kate with Pure Pondering in Northwest Arizona in high desert. I'd let you have a different view of the sunset this evening through the trunks of the little chinaberry grove where Mike and I trimmed up the leaves, raised the crown on these lovely trees. It's a beautiful sunset out here. Of course, if I sit with my back to the sunset, y'all won't be able to see me. That's not always such a bad thing. I hope everybody had a wonderful Monday. It was an interesting Monday for us at the office. Mondays tend to be that way. It has been a beautiful day, but it was hot. The high was 104 today. The forecast is for 110 tomorrow. And it makes me extremely happy that I don't live in Phoenix, because it's typically 15 to 20 degrees hotter in Phoenix than it is here. I looked at their forecast for tomorrow, and the forecast has it at only 10 degrees hotter than here. Way too hot. But for those who live in the South and the Mid-South, where temperatures can be in the triple digits and 98% humidity, I feel for you. I know what it feels like. The people who say there's no difference in the type of heat don't know what they're talking about. Been out here looking around at the garden. Things are looking good, but that's because I water twice a day. I water for about 15 to 20 minutes in the morning and another 15 to 20 minutes in the evening. I had someone try to tell me one time that I needed to water in the middle of the day too. No. Not unless you have soaker hoses, which I do not have. If you are using sprinklers, which I am, watering in the middle of the day will cause your plants to burn from the heat of the sun. It's just, that's the way it is out here. The birds are a little bit quieter this evening. Not sure why. They're still chattering away, but... And I hear a couple of ringneck doves off in the distance. I've had a few people look at me a little bit funny. I'm like, you know, I need a shotgun and some bird shot. Ringneck doves are an invasive species. They were imported from overseas. Therefore, it is open season all year round. But I've never gotten a hunting license out here. Had one back home in Arkansas, but I haven't had one out here. And I haven't been hunting for anything since I left Arkansas. Maybe one of these days I need to. Just looking at the larger of the hugelkultur beds. Micah had planted some seeds in here let me see, a little over a week ago. Those, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And her watermelon seeds are sprouting. I see a handful of watermelons coming up. I don't remember what kind of squash she planted over here, but I do remember she planted watermelons. And I'm looking for a place to put the last of my okra seeds that I saved from last year. Trying to figure out where the best place would be to put them. What you doing, baby girl? Just a moment. She was trying to sneak up on me. She's good at that. She likes being sneaky. But her Sneaky is sneaking up on Mama. Got to get in here and pull grass out of this herb bed. Now that the herbs are finally starting to come up, I get in there and do some work on them, clean them up. The globe mallows are huge. The bees and butterflies love them, but they're also loving all the blossoms on the tomatoes. The tomatoes are looking good. The spaghetti squash is looking good. I think I may have mentioned on another video that this one spaghetti squash, something had pulled it up. I got home one evening and it was pulled up, broken up the roots, and I decided, well, it can't hurt to shove it back down in the dirt and cover it up. And it decided to grow back. So I'm happy with that. And there's one place over in here that looked like it might have been, so I put a little bit of Thai basil in here at one point. Right here maybe? But there was someplace else in here that looked like possibly the little Thai basil that didn't make it in here, didn't make it out of transplant shock, might possibly have dropped a seed or two. We'll see. I wonder how well okra would grow in a spiral with my lavender. That might be interesting to see it in a spiral. That may be what I do with it. I keep walking around and looking at the beds where Mike and I put herb seeds, and instead of sprouts coming up, I see lots of ants. I'm hoping the ants didn't steal our seeds. But one thing that gardening teaches us is resilience, and to keep trying, keep working. The Thai basil, the second one I put in, the first one I made the mistake of trying to split it. It appeared to have 4 little seedlings in it, so I tried to separate them. They didn't do well. So the second one I got, I left all together, and I put it on a rise where it'll get plenty of sun, because I know from experience Thai basil loves the sun, and it is coming back splendidly. I love how well Thai basil grows. The last time I had one, it was over 3 feet high and easily 5 to 6 feet wide. And they smell amazing. The fragrance is a little too strong for Micah. She smells it and says, yuck. But you know, she's 5. Very few young children like the strong herbs. Oh, here is one that I can take out because very little of it came back. It's got an awful lot of dead wood in there. So I'll come out here later and take out that dead wood. And right next to it, tumbleweed. Goat candy. The goats love the tumbleweed. They're over there waiting for me to bring it to them. They truly think it's candy. I was talking to somebody today about how the garden and doing the videos, the sunrise videos and the sunset videos, are very therapeutic. for me. I encourage other people to find a way to garden, whether they have property where they can garden or just a small postage stamp size yard or a balcony, or if they have none of these. I'm going to turn around so you can see that beauty. If they have none of these, then garden indoors. There's so many different ways these days to garden indoors, and it's amazing. And the gardening is very therapeutic. And when I'm talking to people about this, when I start thinking about gardening indoors, I invariably think about Mr. Miyagi. You know, for those of you who, like me, are old enough to remember the original Karate Kid movie, it's a wonderful movie. But when Mr. Miyagi initially comes into the movie, I think probably the second or third scene with him, because there were scenes where he was up in their apartment to look at things that need to be repaired. No, the first time he came into this, because Daniel had to go down and tell him that things needed to be repaired. And Mr. Miyagi, can I get you a banana? Okay. Yes, I can help you with your banana. Let me pause this for a second. Back to the video. All right, back to the story about Mr. Miyagi. Get it? When Daniel went down to Mr. Miyagi's workroom, Mr. Miyagi was working on a bonsai. Then, much later in the movie, where they go to Mr. Miyagi's house, and you see the beautiful garden that he has in his house, and the beautiful work he's done to his house. And then you see the shrine for his family who were lost in the internment camps in the United States during World War II, while he was gone serving our country. And you get the sense that all of the work on the house and all of the gardening, the beautiful garden in the backyard, and all the bonsai trees, those are Mr. Miyagi's therapy. That's how he lived with his grief, how he managed to continue going on with his life while living with the grief of having lost his entire family. Gardening is magical. It puts you in touch with God, Creator, Spirit. It helps you to heal your wounds. There's another beautiful view to the east. One of my reasons for moving to Arizona again was for a change of scenery. We had been very much a part of the community where we lived in Texas. Very, very deeply involved in the homeschool community and in the church community. and volunteerism within the community. And everywhere we went were memories of things we'd done with Maxine. And not only for my healing, but out of fairness to Micah, we came to Arizona because I felt it would be unfair to this wonderful little girl to have me surrounded by all the memories of Maxine in every place that we went. And I'm sure that God has, I know very well that God has worked for me out here. Has worked for Micah out here, huh? God has things for us to do to help people? Yeah. Because that's what God wants us to do, right? God always wants us to help others. And I sit here and I watch the sunset in the evenings. And I work on my garden while the sun rises in the mornings. I see that. A piece of trash. Can't see the top of it. It looks like somebody's trash. We'll have to put a trash can out here to collect things like that, won't we?
Well, there's a garbage can.
Do you want to go put it over there? Be careful and watch for broken glass, because there's always broken glass over there. So watch for it, okay? So you don't get hurt. I've been contemplating, as I work to create a food forest here, even though I'm not part of their church, there is one of the local churches that has missionaries, local missionaries on a regular basis. And I'm sure everybody knows which church that is. Their missionaries go to communities here in the States, but they also go to communities in other countries. They rotate through from one community to another, doing their missionary work. And there is much I could use assistance with here. But I would also like to be able to teach them how to work with others to create food for us with what is readily available. Things can be repurposed. You don't have to buy brand new supplies. There are always things within the community that can be used to help. Yes, baby. There are always things that can be reused and repurposed. Well, careful. Let me turn around and get you one more shot of that beautiful sunset. Hop up, baby. I need to get up. Get off my leg. Because I'm going to turn around. I want to be able to see when I get the sunset on this. Okay? God always has beauty around us. No matter what ugliness the world throws in our path, God always has bits of beauty if we only look for it. Y'all have a wonderful, relaxing evening. Be well. Be blessed. Yes, sweetheart. Huh? Oh, you want to say something? Okay, let me get around here so they can see you.
Like
Hang on. There. Now they can see you.
Click that subscribe button, turn on notifications. You guys later. Bye.
Love you, baby girl. Everybody be blessed.